ready for another lesson?
Hey, Adam. Serious
Yep.
question, bro. What's the highest number you can count to in Spanish?
Uno, dos, tres, cuatro, cinco, seis, siete.
ESPN.
That might be.
Man, you only get a 7? Is that 7?
7.
Yeah.
ESPN 8. The Ocho.
Ocho, nueve, diez.
Ocho, nueve. Okay.
Wow, you could at least I thought you'd be able to
Could
get
you
10,
count to
but
10 normally? Like, let's test this out.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I can do it in French. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There you go.
She just looked up like, what the hell are you doing?
I said it wrong. I said it wrong. 7, 8, 9, 10. There you go.
Yeah.
I said it wrong.
So just for the record then, you certainly have the lowest number of counting in Spanish. Tyler said he can probably get to 100. Me and Nathaniel were 100% at least getting to 10. And you got to 7.
I never took Spanish, man. What do you expect?
And you got to 7.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, I don't know any French numbers. So
I don't either. Yeah,
I don't know any numbers in any other language besides 10 to Spanish and
How did you
English.
expect me to know this? I'm surprised I got 7, to be honest.
I'm impressed.
Yeah.
Welcome to Back Row Banter. This is going to be our Halloween special, guys. Spooky special.
Happy Halloween.
Oh man, I just
That's
had
good.
an idea. I need to write this down. Never mind.
Epiphany.
Let's keep going. I'll write this down later. I am your host, Adam Schwartz. This is our Halloween special where we're going to be talking about the original 1978 Halloween and comparing it to the 2018 sequel. What do they do similarly? What do they do better? General talking. This is going to be one of our casual squared episodes. I think we're going to go with the casual squared title. I don't think that's confirmed, but casual squared.
Even casual squared. My God, it's
Casual
not.
squared.
That's not CC. Casual squared would not be CC. Yes.
Well, I guess it could be. I mean, it'd be C times C is C squared. So I see where you're coming from, Blake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Illinois education system.
You've heard of BRB. Welcome to C2C.
Anyway, I am your host, Adam Schwartz, and joining me is the spooky Rev, Nathaniel Gingrich.
Spooky, at least for today. I don't know what I'll be after that.
At least, yeah, today, the day this is released, and then
Yeah, exactly.
after this, who knows, man.
What is up, sir? I'm doing well. Quick plug in here on the top. If you're listening to this Halloween episode on Halloween, please go and listen to the other Halloween episode on Halloween, which is the final episode of the Sandpiper tapes for this season, at least. But other than that, quick plug in. I'm doing great.
Cool.
Happy Halloween, folks.
Happy
Good to
Halloween.
hear.
Spooky time.
This is my favorite holiday, so I'm sure you're all celebrating accordingly because you love me so much. But what are you guys going to be doing for Halloween this year?
I'm not entirely sure, man. I actually had something planned to go to one of my friend's girlfriend. My friend's girlfriend was having some sort of kind of like dinner outing and everything. It was her birthday as well. It was on the 30th, I believe. But all of that stuff kind of got changed around due to the COVID stuff in Chicago with all the bars, I think, closed at like 9 or 10.
For sure.
So I think that kind of got scrapped to the wayside. So I don't know. We'll probably see if I can put something together. But man, what do you guys got planned?
I was supposed to have the wedding. I guess we're still having the wedding.
Mm-hmm.
It's just we're finding like a residence to like have the party at and stuff like that, and seeing like what we can all kind of pull together to still make this thing pretty flawless for them.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, so that's what I got going this weekend. Oh, and then my beautiful wonderful girlfriend is moving in finally, and I couldn't be more excited. So
Daniel, how are you feeling about this?
we'll have her there.
Oh, I'm chill. I love Leah.
Congrats.
Yeah, I'm just kidding around. Everybody loves Leah.
Yeah. Yeah, no. Me and Leah get along great.
She's perfect.
Yeah, she's cool. I think she was there that one time we recorded. I don't know what episode it was. Might have been like
was
10
early
or
on. I
something
think it
like
was-
that.
It was
was
it was early on. We were all still
Yeah.
sitting at the one table.
I remember it kind of
Yeah.
being.
Oh, and for context,
Yeah, she's
listeners,
cool for sure.
Tyler was involved in a wedding on Halloween that was unfortunately canceled due to the venue was canceled due to the restrictions on COVID going back up again. So that's why they're putting stuff together.
If you didn't listen to the first episode before you listen to this episode, you get out.
Well, I will welcome you, new listeners.
We're not always this hostile. Jesus, Ty.
I
All
said
right.
what I said.
Well, let's get into the review here, boys. You guys want to start with 78?
Let's do it.
Yes.
I mean, yeah, that's only right.
I think you have to. Yeah,
That's only right because you got to go 1 to 2.
Of
you got to
course.
preheat your oven
78's
before you put
not
your jerky in it.
Are we gonna do just full spoilers the whole way through, like we did for?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I don't see why not.
All right. So forewarning, we are not going to have any no spoiler segments for either of these movies. So if you have, for some reason, haven't seen them or don't, or for some reason haven't seen them or don't want to get spoiled for them, just go watch them and then maybe come back. Sound fair?
For sure. That being
Let's do it.
said, 1978 Halloween is so iconic. You've for sure had some bit of it spoiled at some point.
Yeah. Or you've seen a
Like-
clip or whatever.
But yeah, this is Halloween, 1978. You got John Carpenter, you got Donald Pleasance, young Jamie Lee Curtis. This is kind of her first starring role. There's a killer that killed as a kid, and now he's escaped on Halloween. And he's gonna kill
Yeah.
again.
Do you want to give the IMDb summary here? I can pull it up.
I'm actually curious what it is for this.
It's got to be short, right?
Oh my god, I can imagine.
It's not too bad.
15 years after murdering his sister on a Halloween night, 1963, Michael Myers escapes from a mental hospital and returns to the small town of Haddonfield, Illinois, to kill again.
Oh. That's pretty
Illinois.
accurate, if you ask me.
Yeah,
I love that it's set in Illinois.
Say that again.
Illinois. I'm not from Illinois, so I
know.
can say it however I want
Illinois.
to.
Yeah, you can. You can.
So do people not from Illinois, do they put the S on the end of it, Nathaniel?
Oh,
I
well,
don't do the S. No.
some people do.
But
about
I
like
said
when you
A
do
lot
I
of Illinois.
I
A lot of Illinois.
yeah, I oscillate between Illinois and Illinois.
Yeah.
Okay.
I usually never put the S on there unless I'm like really trying to hype it up, which honestly, it's really kind of hard to hype up Illinois.
Make some
True.
Illinois.
Eh,
Rockford be rocking.
But we
I
do
hate
have
you
the
so
Halloween
much.
series, so
So
Yeah,
yeah,
so
I think that was a
set in the
decent
town
description.
of set in the town of Haddonfield, Illinois. I wish I knew nothing about this going into this movie, so that the very first scene would be shocking. Because if
Mhm.
you don't know that he's a child in that scene,
Mhm.
it would have been so different, I can imagine.
yeah.
Yeah.
And that's what everyone says, like when they originally watch it. So like if you go back and kind of
Right.
read people's original kind of writings on this type of stuff, they're saying like that was the huge takeaway. Was that when they kind of puts on, it goes in like that mask.
Yeah, you're
eye
immediately
lens
in
type
the
thing.
you're immediately in the killer's point of view, which is out of the gate unsettling. And then to
Mhm.
find out that that killer is a child is the next, like, you just must not have felt safe at all. Like, you just would not know what Carpenter was thinking, how all your normal safety nets are gone at that point.
Yeah.
I bet it was similar to like Hereditary.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Okay,
especially
yeah,
for the time period.
At 78, people haven't quite experienced as much stuff. There hasn't been as many of these.
Mhm.
Yeah, like
Okay.
crime rates were probably pretty low, especially
Well,
in
I
like
mean,
suburban areas.
that's the kind of theme of this of
Right.
Halloween. I would say is that if you're looking at it from a critical standpoint, it's we have progressed as a society to the the point. What did I say? Society. We've progressed as a society now to the point that we've eliminated all the kind of natural fears. We no
Right.
longer have to live in castles for fear of predators, or we've conquered all the viruses and stuff. Now our greatest fear is an unknown force who we don't understand or really even comprehend coming in and killing people. And that's the kind of um American dream 1970s turned into nightmare.
Mhm.
But
Mm. So let me ask you this then, Adam. I mean, were you aware that opening scene, he's a child?
This was not my first time watching either of these.
Okay, fair enough. I was
But
just curious.
the first time you watched it,
First time I watched it, I was not expecting it. I kind of had suspicion. I like halfway through, I was like, "Is this like whose perspective is this?" But
which
yeah,
the fastest bang of all time, by the way. Like when you in the span of 30 seconds, the couple goes upstairs,
there's
completes their business, and then the boy comes downstairs.
yeah, the people are nothing left and right in this movie, man. It's
Oh,
fast.
it's from that great era of if you have sex, you're dead.
Yeah. So
That's
100%.
this had to start all of that. In hindsight now, like me watching this, I'm like, this
Mhm.
definitely started all of those horror cliches where like
it was one of the first.
if you're having sex, you're dying. If you're consuming drugs, you're dying. If you're drinking, you're dying.
Was it
You know?
was it us, or was I listening to someone that was talking about how whenever there's a classroom scene in a movie, it's
It was us.
always English
That was
class.
us.
That was
It
your
was
acting.
I think I said
yeah.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's always English class, and it's always about some sort of story that directly affects the plot,
Yeah.
or is
Mhm.
directly
And
reflective
this
of
and
the
this has
plot.
it too.
And in the 2018 version, it has it too.
Yeah.
It has it
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
great. It's so funny. It's like screenwriters don't know there's other classes.
Yeah. But yeah, I like it. Like I said, it's the first time I saw the original in a long time. And actually, so I thought the really classic scene in the second one, where it's the one long take, where they actually have it remade in the 2018 one.
Yes. Yeah.
I actually thought that was in the original, and then I watched the original one. I was like, oh, okay, that's definitely the second movie I've been thinking of my entire life. I thought
Gotcha.
that scene was in the original.
Gotcha.
So
Well, what's interesting is in the second one, it's not from Michael Myers' point of view. The camera has its own kind of life. In the
Mhm.
in this one, in the one long tracking shot, you're entirely in Michael's point of view, to the point that when he puts the mask on, you see through the eye holes. Where
correct.
in the 2018 sequel, though they
It
have
just
a very
follows him,
similar
right?
shot, yeah, it follows him
Yeah.
around. Which,
Um,
well, I'll talk about that a little bit more later, I think.
yeah, I think we'll get to the 2018 one later. But as far as the original, man, yeah, this is it's classic, man. There's no other way around it. I
It's
haven't seen
aged
it in a
really
long
well.
time, and yeah, yeah, and it's one of those movies where it's like ingrained in my brain. Despite not seeing it in so long, there's still so many scenes I know exactly what happens. You know,
Yeah, it almost feels
um,
like deja vu.
yeah,
Yeah,
and
just because you haven't seen it in a while, you're like, I feel like I've seen this somewhere, and you're like, oh
mhm,
yeah,
and a good
yeah,
bulk of this movie happens in the daytime.
it really does, and I think that's one of the best things they do with this, because they're trying to, you know, do that whole thing we were talking about earlier, like crime rates low in like suburban areas and stuff like that, and now you have like this guy that's literally just walking out in like the broad of daylight.
I love
Um,
how often he's in the background of shots.
oh,
I
it's so great.
Yeah,
I love that
yeah,
he just
It's
blends in,
fantastic.
that for some reason, no one just recognizes that he has a mask on for some reason. He's just driving around town,
Yeah, they just
and,
made him
like,
look really plain,
I think,
and they do it
like,
so well.
in my head, the scene in this movie where she's walking with her friends down the street and
mhm,
you keep looking for that scene lasts 45 minutes.
yeah,
Like in my head, that scene occupies so much of what I think Halloween is.
Absolutely.
mhm.
I think those are just like those really classic shots where
Mm.
everything's supposed to seem fine, and then see these things in the background, and then that's like what we as like the movie buffs like really look for, and it's like one of those things that makes this such a timeless piece, because there could be a time where you feel like you didn't see him, and then you're like, oh my god, there he was, I didn't know he was there.
Right. Yeah.
So yeah, I think that's one of the really great things that this movie does for its replay value.
Yeah, I think Carpenter working as his own composer really helps here too, because he wrote all the music for this film as well. And
Did he?
so
That's awesome.
yeah, he's a real Renaissance man.
Yeah.
But
And not to cut you off real quick, but just to get on that, when you talked about the music for this film, is this not the greatest score in horror history?
that's exactly what I was gonna say.
Okay,
I think he ties the music in so well to his vision of the film,
Mhm.
where it functions entirely with it. I mean,
Okay.
I think the only argument I have for you, Blake, would be something like Jaws. Like
Yep.
that's the only other one,
Well,
really.
hold on. The Shining.
The Shining too.
Yeah, we
I
did
mean,
just say that. The Halloween one hits different though, man. The piano.
I don't know, man.
it's
I think The Shining maybe beats. I would give The Shining the better score as far as
really
for me.
Yeah.
I think it has a better score to match the tone of the film than this one.
I will
mean,
say I think that Halloween probably has a better score, but I think what really gets me the most in Shining is the overall audio of it. Like when we talked about him going over like the hard surface, soft surfaces, like the overall audio I think is better in The Shining.
the sound design.
But you're right. Yep, yeah. But the score I think is it pulls together so well in Halloween, and I think it just makes it that much more of a tighter movie for it just being an automatic classic.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if you're not familiar, John Carpenter is one of those, Mount Rushmore horror directors. Really, you got him here with Halloween. You've got him for The Thing.
They're
you
actually
know,
watching The Thing in this movie as well.
Yeah, and that's definitely a reference to that. He's from that kind of exploitation era, almost group of filmmakers. He's very sparse with his camera. There's not a lot of heavy cuts and zooms and everything. He's very willing to let the scene play out and let the actors move within frame, which I think really works for this film. Part of what makes this film work so well is the cinematography, because otherwise this could very easily become, just a trapped in a house boilerplate, home invasion movie. But this is so much more, and really defines how like a slasher can encompass a whole town, too.
Yeah.
Someone else say something.
Sure. I wasn't sure if you were done, Nathaniel.
I'll jump in occasionally. I'm sure.
Okay.
I'm just free flowing here.
For me, I think you guys already said it. It's the music. It's got a really great score for sure. Like that's definitely a part of it. The other thing is, I think what this does as far as horror, as far as what scares you, is not there's not a lot of jump scares, although there are a few. It's more just the dread that Michael Myers imposes. It's a movie. He basically it's a movie of him stalking this girl for half of it, and then just you see him in the background of so many things, and the other half is just him coming after her, and you can't stop him. He gets one by one. He gets every single person, and then when she comes after him, she injures him 2 or 3 times, and then still just keeps coming. So that's what kind of it's just the dread that builds up whenever whenever he's on screen, there's dread, but then you're also when he's off screen. You're constantly looking for him to see where he's at, and that just instills a sense of like he's gonna come back eventually. Like I'm gonna see him sometime soon. Like you're constantly looking for him.
Yeah,
I think it just like go ahead, Blake.
Yeah, I was to say I personally, Michael Myers is probably my favorite horror icon of like the classics between him, Jason, right? You're Freddy Krueger, all those people. I mean, I feel like he's like the pure, right? He's the definition of evil, right? I mean, even Dr. Loomis tries to explain. He's like, what? I spent 8 years trying to get to this person, right, and figure out what was going on. He's like, and eventually I just gave up because I realized there's nothing past his eyes, right? It's like
He
his
said,
eyes
I
are
spent
just
the next 7 trying to keep him there.
yeah, right. Yeah. He's
Yeah.
like, I spent 8 trying to get to him. Then after that, I spent 7 keeping him there because there was nothing, there was no going back. This guy's not human. Then you can even see just like what the scene where Lori kind of looks out the classroom and she sees him behind the car, and it looks like his mask is just floating behind the car. Like it looks like he can stare directly into her eyes. And they're like probably 100 yards away from each other,
Yeah.
And he's so creepy, man. He's mute.
Yeah.
Do you think he's supernatural? Do you guys read him as supernatural?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Because I know there were.
But have you ever seen you guys have seen like Glass and
Split.
yeah, and Split. So like I
I've
feel like
seen Split.
okay.
haven't seen Glass.
Well,
Split's good.
I feel like it kind of carries into that a little bit. Like this whole movie, I feel like is meant to be a little deeper too, with like the psyche of it. Like he's able to reappear and disappear, which plays with Jamie Lee Curtis's psyche so much. Like, is this person real? Is this person not real? Like, what's like this thing that's chasing me? And I think it's just it goes to show like he obviously went to a mental institution after he killed his sister, and it kind of shows you that if you're like the certain amount of crazy, that you are invincible, and like literally nothing can stop you just because you're hell-bent on this one mission. It's kind of like the Joker too. Like he doesn't feel pain because he's just hell-bent on this one thing, and he's just nuts. And that's like the only thing that drives him. And I think that's really cool that the movie does that. And it does get a little deeper, even though it's not necessarily trying to be as deep as that.
So for me, I think they talk about a little. The doctor talks about it, about how Michael just there was nothing left, basically, like he's been drained of all consciousness, so all that was left in him was evil. And then he even says, I think in his eyes, he references the devil at some point. So I think they build up the mythos enough to where you think he maybe have been touched, either is the devil or have been touched by the devil in some kind of way to give him some power, because he has some kind of healing ability, you have to think, because he's poked in the eye, and then when he takes off his masks, there doesn't seem like any kind of, or well, when his mask gets taken off, there doesn't seem to be any kind of terrible damage to his eye. He gets stabbed, but is somehow
he's missing the eye.
Is he?
Yeah, and you see it in it's like drooped afterwards. It's quick and it's very hard to see, but
which I'll be honest, I think that's my only gripe with this movie,
is that you do see that one flashing scene of him without
his face. I feel like you get so much more from the character when you know that there's not essentially a human back there. And when you reveal that face, you know it's a human, and I feel like it kind of takes away from that supernatural element that we were just talking about.
I think they nail it better in the second one.
I was about to say that.
And in particular, one of the shots they use is of his messed up eye, which is you can see is all white now and has like a spider web.
Would you say second one? Do you mean the 2018 one, or do you mean like the?
No, I mean the 2018 one. Okay. Yeah, 2018 one. Yeah. Sorry, but yeah, as you were saying, Ash, I do think there is that reading of that he is kind of like supernatural. He has that weird healing factor. It's
he can keep getting back up, and he was stabbed and got back up, and then he was shot and then disappears. Like he's so he's.
I think it goes to his ability to, and the John Carpenter goes out of his way to make sure that when you see those times where he is appearing then reappearing in other places, Lori doesn't look away, right? So even like the scene where she's looking out the window and she sees him like in the clothing lines, right? And the cuts to him, and he's standing there, and then you see Lori, and then he looks back, and then he's not there. Like it never alludes that Lori looked away. So like it's just you would think he has like some type of teleportation or something. He's certainly not human. There's no way. And I like that the director doesn't show Laurie looking away, because that makes it even more creepy. Too many times where you see that now in later horror movies, right, where somebody's doing something and they turn and look one way, the camera pans, right, the character looks one way, character then turns back the other person, then the person's gone. And I feel like they went about it the correct way, in the more creepy way, where I'm staring at you, you're staring at me, right, and you can disappear instantly when we're staring at each other.
Yeah, I think so too. I think ambiguity is a huge part of what's at play in this film in general. That you can, I've seen this film enough times that like it's kind of fun to go like to watch it. Like, okay, I'm gonna watch it this time where he's just a guy, and then I'm gonna watch it this time where it is the boogeyman, the supernatural side of it. So I think it's smart that the film lends itself to both of those readings. Jamie Lee Curtis is really great in it. I think there's a reason that's also become so iconic. The kills are good. If you're into that sort of thing.
Kills are good. The one where he
the
pins
kills
him
are
up
great,
against the
especially for
wall.
the time.
Yeah. I love the car bit where it's a perfect setup where it's like, oh, the car's locked. She's got to go back and get the keys. She comes back and they have the camera set up perfectly. Oh, she didn't unlock the car door.
Yeah.
And it's already been opened somehow. And then she gets in the car and you think quickly that she realizes there's condensation on the windows.
Yeah.
And she's like, how does that happen? And then right when you realize, oh, and then he comes up and the music comes in. Yeah, the music comes in. Perfect.
I think Donald Pleasance is excellent in this movie as Dr. Loomis.
He's great.
The doctor, his famous Australian actor, Donald Pleasance. But yeah, let's talk about the second one or the sequel.
Yeah, we can move on.
Hold on. I just got like two quick things.
Sure.
One,
Go ahead.
the jump scares that they do in this. I think the best part is in the house when he's like piling up all the bodies in different rooms or like the closet, and there's like 3 jump scares in a row, and then he's like lurking out of the shadow in the bathroom.
I always forget about the tombstone.
Such a great shot.
I'm sorry, what was that?
Nathaniel said the tombstone.
Okay. I said I always forget about the tombstone.
Yeah.
He just sets it on the bed.
And he's strong as hell. That guy does everything.
Yeah, that's true. And then Adam said he thinks the bathroom shot's a great shot.
Yeah. I think that's where you kind of get like the cover from, right? Like especially like the prequel cover, or not the prequel, the sequel
cover.
It's like half of his mask is like blacked out, but you can see that like stark white kind of coming through. And then I think I'm pretty sure I laughed when I first saw this movie the first time, and I will probably always laugh every single time I see it. But the scene where Jamie Lee Curtis is walking down the street with her friends, and he's just in the car driving by.
Yeah.
Like
I
died. Yeah, he just like stares the whole way down. I literally died the first time I saw that, and every time I see it, it's still just an incredibly laughable moment that I don't know if they thought was going to be scary, but I just find it to be hilarious.
It's the wrong shot. It needs to either be closer in on him or further out on them, because otherwise it just ends with him just kind of like staring at them, but from like a safe distance.
Yeah, like he stops the car and they know he's there, and he's like clearly looking back, and then he turns around and drives away.
Yeah, it's too human of a movement for him. Yeah.
What were you gonna say, Adam? Were you gonna mention the scene where he drives past Dr. Loomis?
I was. I thought that was a great scene.
Yeah,
it was a great shot.
Kind of like thinking,
it's set up so
where
well.
Could he possibly be?
Yeah. He's like looking around. And then just over the shoulder, you see him pull
because
up.
I almost think that's like a dual camera setup or a dual. They've got a really weird lens on there.
It does. It is
really
a bit
wide.
It is really wide. Exactly.
Donald Pleasance is very much in focus, and then so is the car. And because of that, it flattens the depth of field. and so they
It
look
does.
like they're almost like paper images on top of each other in some ways.
Mm-hmm.
So
I don't know.
yeah,
I thought it was a good shot though. I thought it
it
was
is.
effective.
No, yeah,
Yeah, that's a classic shot from that movie.
it speaks to Carpenter's cleverness,
Yeah.
that he's able to achieve both those things without one thing outshining the other there, and his skill as a director for sure.
Yeah.
So 2018.
Yeah.
2018.
So if
Better
you're
than
What more to
2020.
say, man? I mean, I think we've kind of been on record here. This is most people's best remake of the 2010s, right? I think I kind of lean towards that Evil Dead. A lot of people will probably mention this. I don't think I could call them wrong, but yeah, I love the 2018 one, man. I saw it in theaters when it came out. Halloween 2018, ironically, I think is actually when it came out. Yeah, I like it. I think it does enough for me to excuse every other shitty Halloween movie in between and just go from the original to this.
Yeah,
And
so
that's fine with me.
if you're not familiar with the Halloween franchise, which I don't know why you wouldn't be, but the there's like 6 Halloween sequels.
It might be more than that,
That
dude.
that
There's
all
a
got that all
lot.
got erased.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that some of them aren't even about Michael Myers. But
We
the
don't know what
second
happened.
yeah, the second one's kind of like an immediate follow-up to Halloween, the
Yeah.
original, and then that gets wild from there. And then there's the 2007 era Rob Zombie
Rob Zombie
remakes.
ones, yeah. Which I
But
don't
then
mind, to be
no,
honest.
they're fine. But they're like their own thing
Mhm.
in some ways. And then so in 2018, a group of guys together, led by David Gordon Green and commi- who's definitely mostly known as a funny character, Danny McBride, um, got together to recreate or to make a direct sequel to the 1978 Halloween, and that's this movie. So they got everyone back basically, including the guy who actually plays Michael Myers. That is the original actor
Yeah,
again.
that's dope.
But yeah, as Blake was saying, this I think is the best example of a quasi sequel reboot so far, in that
Mhm.
I can just consider this a direct thing. Like, to me, it
For
totally
sure.
makes sense that this film exists. I totally understand why it is. It ties in so perfectly, even to the point of where, like, um in the dad, who is like the only character in this movie, I feel like doesn't it feels like he's in a completely different movie. But
Yes, I agree.
I would say his moment where he's like, he talks about the boyfriend's dad. He's like, "Oh, Lonnie, he and I used to do drugs together or whatever." In the 1978 version, the boy that Lori is babysitting, his bully is Lonnie. So they like,
Oh.
even that small detail is tied together where you get that like real small town family vibe. Um, you completely understand where everyone's coming from. Um, it if I'm gonna go big brain film mode here for a second, guys, but if the original Halloween is concerned with the horror of an unknown assailant kind of coming into the idyllic American suburb where we've conquered everything that is our natural fears, and now have to only be left to be afraid of ourselves and someone we don't know. If that's kind of the core of that film, this film asks us, now that we're past that, we haven't learned any lessons from it. We now we go and we re-examine it and dig it up again, and we're so safe that we're now
Mhm.
looking at the thing that used to kill us and trying to give it um pathos in the form of like these podcasters that are coming out and saying, "Oh, we just want the full story. We want to give we want to understand Michael Myers
Mhm.
and give it." And Laurie Strode's the only one there to going like, "No, fuck this
Yeah,
guy.
like, this is a terrible idea. Yeah,
Like,
right.
he's literal evil. And I love the
Mhm.
scene when she's like, I'm twice divorced and I'm a basket case. Michael Myers killed 5 people, and he's a human who needs he's a human in need of understanding. And it's
Mhm.
like quotes their own words back to them. So I think it is smart in that it's taking what the first film commented on and the horrors of the first film and their meat and
Mhm.
then talking back to that film, and continuing that conversation and saying, okay, so what does this look like in the year 2018,
Yeah.
uh, and everything. And so I think that's, from a writing perspective, a really smart, um, excellent way of continuing a franchise like this.
Yeah. Yeah. The only things I don't really care for in 2018, I mean, it's a very quote unquote 2018s like horror movie, right? Where there's like I don't really care for the granddaughters like friends who are like smoking weed and like happen to die. Like I
Yeah.
don't really care for any of that in Halloween movie. You know what I mean? But
Mm.
I guess it kind of caters to what most horror movies have now, and that niche market. But that's the only kind of grape I don't really care for that. And then the one scene where the fucking doctor fucking kills the police guy
Oh yeah. Yeah.
with the pen, like that was the when
Yeah.
I first saw that, I was like, what the fuck is going on? That was so out of the blue, and it made no sense at
Yeah,
all.
it's well, I was thinking about it when I was watching it this time, and it basically just serves to function as like getting rid of all the cops.
Yes,
basically.
that's all it is. And I'm like,
Um,
that's crazy.
yeah, I don't. When I watched it the first time, I had that initial reaction. I had that same kind of thing, but watching it again the second time, they seed it a lot more because he
Okay.
talks, and I think it partly might because the actor has an accent. You don't quite catch everything, but he's talking often about like, oh, I want to know what Michael is thinking about when he kills. And I want to understand, I want to know the effect his kills have on him as the killer. And he's talking about it quite often so that it's not as jarring when he decides to go and kill
Right.
the
To
cop.
go AWOL.
And
Right.
it is because the cop is attempting to kill Michael Myers, trying to run him
Correct.
over, that he acts. So it makes a little bit more sense, but I'm with you, Blake, in that it was like very strange and felt
Mhm.
very out of place. Though I will say that's one of the better scares, I feel like, when it cuts to her in the car, and then it quick cuts to just the doctor like rising up in the headlights with the Michael
Mhm.
Myers mask on.
Mhm.
It's a very gritty kind of sudden image on there, as well. I think it was one of the better jump scares that
Yeah.
they totally nail Illinois in the winter or in the fall in this.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
from the light to the way that how everyone is dressed.
Mhm.
I feel like they really get they really ground this in a sense of place.
Yeah.
In this.
Yeah. Do you got anything to throw in there, Adam, Tyler? I feel like me and Nathaniel are
I
Yeah,
just
no,
prefer
vibing
listening to
right
you
now.
guys sometimes, man.
yeah, man. You guys can go off.
For sure.
You guys are the experts on horror here, so I'm
Um,
never gonna interrupt that.
yeah, I think we kind of touched on most things. I mean, um I don't know. I would say this. I didn't really care for the ending of this. Obviously, you can kind of hear him breathing through the mask still. But then
Mhm.
off of the Halloween Kills teaser coming
Yeah.
off, I now love the ending of this now.
Yeah.
'Cause the teaser for that is immediately after the house is burned, and it's the
Mhm.
fire department going there.
Right.
And I think Nathaniel said it one time, might have been on pod or off pod, whatever it was. And it was like, yeah, that makes so much sense because it's like, how the fuck would the fire department not show up?
Yeah, like
Yeah.
of
on a
course.
house
Yeah,
burning
100%.
down, you know what I mean? And try
Yeah.
to save everybody in it. Like that's
Right.
literally their job. You know what I mean?
100%.
Yeah, and then Lori's like screaming like, "No, don't go to the house." You know what I mean?
Right.
She's
So
like
yeah,
screaming, "Let it burn!" I think.
yeah. So yeah, that's good. So I love the ending, knowing that they had that kind of planned. So yeah, I genuinely like this movie.
I think Jamie Lee Curtis is great again.
She
I
is.
really
She's
like
really good.
I love how they photograph Michael Myers in this movie and how
Mm-hmm.
so much of it, like I just think from the very first scene, I think is excellent. The introduction when they're in the insane asylum.
And he's just
I
standing there with his back.
Yeah,
to
just
him.
everything about that, like it's so weird. The floor is checkerboard pattern. Like
Mhm.
no one, like why are they chained to a square?
Yeah, like a
Like,
cinder block.
yeah, none
Yeah.
of it makes sense, but it's awesome. Like the podcasters are so perfectly cast. They're such pricks. Like, but you totally get it too. I And then the gas station scene, I think, is excellent.
Yeah.
Like each one of the scenes and the main scares in this, I think, are really well done. I think
I was
Oh,
gonna
yeah.
bring up the gas station scene.
I was
the
gonna
ga-
ask, what's your guys' favorite kill?
yeah, I really like the gas station scene.
I like
I think my favorite kill. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna say in the backyard with the kid and the lights keep flashing
Yeah,
on
that's
and off.
great too.
Mhm.
Yeah,
and
the motion
oh,
sensor
man,
light.
that one's great.
I think the babysitter, the actual babysitter, wants a great little
That's a
It's
fun
almost like
segment.
yeah, it's almost
Yeah.
like a little short film in itself. And, like, there is
Yeah.
genuine kind of, like, empathy I have. I'm like, "Oh, I really like Vicky. I'm sad she's dead."
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
and, like, they do the same thing that the 78 version does, where they actually don't show very much of his actual killing.
Mhm.
Like, the moment where the people die, a lot of times it's just people finding bodies after he
Mhm.
kind of lunges at them. Um, and there's a couple times in this one where I'm like, "Oh, man, I wish Vicky wasn't dead." That was fun. But,
Well, honestly, I kinda like the fact that they don't show that kinda stuff because it kinda plays into the fact that he's not doing it to glorify gore or for any specific
for
reason to
sure,
decorate kills. He's just out there to kill.
yeah.
Care how he does.
I love the head jack-o'-lantern that
Mhm.
of the cop.
I was gonna say that was probably my favorite kill throughout the whole thing.
Which
The cop car rolls up and then she goes outside. She opens the door. Or no, the dad does, right?
Yes, that's the dad, I
Yeah.
think.
And then yeah, it's the cop's head carved out like a pumpkin, and there's even a candle in it. Or it's the flashlight.
The
And
flashlight,
yeah, I think that's probably my favorite kill.
which
Yeah.
he does in, like, 5 seconds, by the way. He
Yeah, he's
cores out that
incredible.
dude's head.
Yeah.
Like,
That guy has tremendous strength.
oh, it's great.
But yeah, I'm with you guys. I love the gas station scene. I love him dropping just the teeth over the stall.
Yeah,
You
that's a
know,
great
Mhm.
and she's
image.
just like,
Very
"What
Texas
the
Chainsaw.
fuck."
Yeah.
Yeah. That's when she realized, like, okay,
Yeah.
we're definitely like we're screwed. You know.
Yeah, and that, like, I love that you see, like, again, it's one of those things where the camera pans where you can see the background too, and you just see him walking in, or
Mhm.
like you'll see him, like, him just in the background, like beating on something
Yeah.
out of frame.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's a
Yeah.
great
And
scene.
that bathroom kill is so brutal, dude. He beats the shit out of that girl.
Yeah,
It's like
and the
it's almost
guy.
hard to watch. And that's one
Yeah.
of the ones where they actually show it for the most part. You know what I mean? Where he's just like
Well,
banging
yeah,
right on the toilet and banging right on the stall.
yeah, but
Um,
even then, even then, the kill is off screen. The strangle
yeah.
is actually you don't see it. And they do a good job of making you care about most of his kills in an empathetic way. Like the kid with his dad, who's
Mhm.
like, "You're making me miss dance class," like going out for that. But you could tell the dad just he's like, "Bob, I thought you liked coming out to the woods with me." And like he
Yeah.
genuinely is just trying to connect with his son, and then they're
Mhm.
both dead. And you're like, and you have I like the deputy sheriff who's very clearly just a stand-in for Danny McBride with the giant hat.
Yeah.
He has like all the exact same lines that that Danny McBride would have should he be in the film.
I like
Yeah.
how they evolved the setting and the characters. They aged them at the same rate. It's the same difference in time, right, as the actual release of the first
Yeah.
movie.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Yeah.
40 years. So
Yeah.
he's
Sorry. Go ahead.
no, he's 6 in the opening of the prologue. He's 21 when he breaks out, and then he'd be 61 in this one. Which he looks it, and it's cool. Like I think that's awesome. But
He
They
does
age him,
look
they age Jamie Lee Curtis well. And then just the storytelling of the events in between. It just all feels very, very well evolved and properly handled, which is great.
Yeah.
I was gonna say Blake said earlier that he doesn't really care for like the girl and her friends like smoking weed and everything, and I think I don't care for it either. I think it's like one of those things that just doesn't need to be put in there, but I think it does a good job at explaining what time frame we're looking at because that's
For
like what
sure.
high schoolers are doing now.
For sure.
I mean, that's in the first one too, though.
Yeah.
Like,
Yep.
Jamie Lee Curtis and the girl are smoking like when they're driving around town and stuff
Yep.
as well.
Yeah.
I do like though that they have like little Easter eggs. I think like one of the things that I really thought was cool was the granddaughter, Allison still dresses like she's kind of in the 70s. She's kind of got like those 70s pants on. She still wears kind of like those pastel colors. She looks like she's wearing her grandma's clothes, which I think is pretty cool.
Mhm.
The earlier in the film, her like douchebag friend who's like high all the time.
Yeah.
I forget his name. But yeah, like just the kid that gets high all the time. He puts an M80 in a pumpkin. So it's not smashing a pumpkin, but he did defile a pumpkin. Which is one of those
Rules of
Halloween.
Sam got him, bro.
Yep. And then I think my favorite shot overall is Allison is sitting in her classroom. Imagine that, a classroom shot. And it's
Who
not
would've
so much
thought?
right? It's not like the chalkboard or anything like that, but it's basically the same shot that they used when Jamie Lee Curtis was sitting in class
Yeah.
in the 78 one, and Myers was standing outside, except Allison is sitting in class, and Jamie Lee Curtis is standing outside, like across the street.
It's flipped.
And I think that just really, again, it's a little bit of an Easter egg to the 78 movie. But I think it's just really great to kind of also get this like feeling that Jamie Lee Curtis has just become obsessed, and now she's kind of become this creepy kind of, people perceive her as crazy kind of
Right.
person because Michael has just affected her life in this way for so long.
Yeah. Yeah,
Well, yeah.
it's basically a direct flip on that, man. It's almost like she's the predator and Michael's the prey, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
Right.
'cause
even
you
at
get that
the ending,
you get
where
that
she's knocked off the
reverse.
balcony. Yeah.
Yeah, you get
Is
the
that what
kind
you're
of
getting to?
yeah, well, you get the balcony thing, but you also get kind of like the reversal of that bathroom shot
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
Michael coming out of the shadows behind her. You get her coming out of the shadows behind him.
Yeah. So yeah, you can just tell she's completely prepared for it, right? So yeah, she kind of falls over the balcony. Michael looks over and she's gone. So yeah, those are all things that are just huge, like homage, proposals, I guess, to the original, and I think those are all reasons why people love this.
Yeah, I actually kind of forgot about her little house. That house is awesome.
Yeah, well, she was ready for sure. You
Oh
can't say she
yeah.
was not prepared.
But
You know what I
again, I
mean?
think that's really cool. What you like we were just talking about. I didn't really pick it up until you guys said it. But in the first one, where Jamie Lee Curtis sees all the bodies in the house, that's kind of like Michael's like House of Horrors, and now it's completely flipped. This is like Jamie's a House of Horrors, and she's like fucking ready. Like the gates on the doors, like she's clearly done something with tactical training.
Yeah.
she's checking corners.
But it
So
all
Just,
makes sense though, because anybody who would have
of
gone through
course it
anything
would.
remotely like that,
Oh,
where
yeah.
we're facing somebody who's like, yeah, I've literally seen this guy reappear and disappear in front of me
Yep.
40 years ago. You'd bet your ass I'm going to be fully prepared for this guy
Well,
if he
yeah,
comes back.
just don't keep your mannequins all in a room. Like keep them in a shed
Yeah.
somewhere.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
that's
that
just
room is
asking for trouble.
terrifying.
But yeah, way to go. I'm excited for the next one.
Yeah,
I
man.
wish
Yeah, I am
someone
too.
I wish it could come out because I think that was actually set for. I
That
think it
was
was
year.
set
set for
to be
Yeah.
released this year. Yep.
2020.
It was
Yeah.
it was set to release this year.
I wish
Yeah.
someone would give Judy Greer something to do besides being like harassed mom. She's a really good actress, and this is like the only role she ever gets to play.
That's true.
Yeah.
All right. Do you guys want to put these on the entropy list?
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
with
check
it,
it
man.
out.
Are you ready? Do we have any closing statements?
I don't think so.
Happy Halloween.
Yeah.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
The entropy list for those of you who are new is Back Row Banter's complete list of every movie we've reviewed ranked under one sweeping list, regardless of genre and all that stuff. That
Any
was
new
very
entries?
unenthusiastic, but you know, you should know what the entropy list is.
Long
By
night.
now.
It's 11:43 p.m. right now.
This is
It's
still a
been
little
long.
earlier than what I thought we were gonna finish up though. So
Yeah. All right. Where is
Oh,
Halloween
man.
1978 coming down?
oh man.
Blake, I will go to you first, sir.
Wow.
Wow.
That's tough, man. For everything that it brings to the horror genre, for the value it has, for the runtime, for how good it's aged, of being 40 plus years old, I think I'm gonna put the original Halloween. To be honest, I'll put it at 5.
Wow. Yeah. Okay.
So I'll put it right after Hereditary.
I'm not mad about that. And you're not too far off from where I'm at. I was thinking, shit, man. Shit. I was thinking 6,
Okay, so
but I can
after
do 5.
Prisoners.
But I can do 5.
Yeah,
I'm gonna put it at 6 after Prisoners.
fair.
Nathaniel? Bit of a pregnant pause there, listeners. We did not cut out.
Sorry,
Yeah, we're good.
sorry. I thought you heard me go. I thought you heard me go.
No, we did not.
My pop filter was just too good, listeners.
Yep.
Yeah, I think Blake makes a great case for 5. That wasn't where I originally had it, but
Where'd
and
you
then I was
originally
like-
have it?
I had it at like at below Inception, but
Okay.
You know what? I
Yeah.
also had it below Inception originally, and then the more I thought about it,
but
the more
then
Blake
yeah,
talked,
but then I
was
was like, yeah, you're an idiot. It's fucking Halloween.
it's Halloween, man.
like that's. We didn't really talk about this, but I mean, this is a movie with iconic status. Like this
For
is
sure.
the end all be all in the slasher genre. Number one with a bullet, did it first, did it best. Like
Oh yeah.
killed the game in some ways. And and it's John Carpenter is one of those directors that is, top tier. It's not like you have, it's not like it's a really good example of the genre. This is like the genre at its highest peak with top tier actors, directors, composers, the whole lot.
Facts.
So I think that with that in mind and Blake's good, setting me straight here, I think 5's the spot for this guy.
Ty?
Hmm. I was probably at 6,
Okay.
just for the sole fact that I think Prisoners is a little closer to my heart. I think it's more watchable than Just in October. And I think those are really my only arguments. But I would much rather watch this than Inception.
Mm-hmm. Quick
Okay,
film too,
so
90 minutes. It's like
Halloween is-
92 minutes, I think, to be exact.
Halloween is 7.8.
we don't even need a tiebreaker. I'll change my position to number 5.
Well, what's
Yeah,
Prisoners
but-
at anyways?
Pictures is at number
8.1.
5.
No, you idiot. The rating.
Oh, you meant on rating?
8.1.
Ooh. All right, that's fine.
All right, so Halloween at number 5.
Ooh. Okay.
Spicy.
Yeah.
Now,
I'll go with
here's
that.
where things get extra spicy. Where is 2018 Halloween? Tyler, I'll toss it to you
You
this
guys want
time.
me to kick it off? Okay, go ahead.
I'll toss it to Tyler.
Hmm. 8?
So you're putting it after Green Room.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm safe with that.
Or before Green Room. Above Green Room.
No.
Well, yeah,
Green
because
Room-
technically
Green Room 7.
Halloween is now 5. So
Yes.
everything's bumped back.
You gotta refresh that page there. Sir.
Oh yeah. Well, then it would be 9. Right? It would just
Green
move
Room.
everything
Green
back.
Room. So you're putting it above Green Room?
No.
below
Green. It would be. It
So
would
you're
be
putting
9.
it- okay.
So
So
Green
you're
Room's
thinking
still 8.
below Green Room. Okay. So yeah, number 9, above Strangers, below Green Room.
Yeah.
Okay.
Who wants to follow it up?
I can. I'm not too far off. I think The Strangers scared me more and had more going for it, but I also, yeah, I think I'd put it after Strangers at number 10. I liked it way more than Insidious. I'm thinking number 10.
I like that. Yeah.
Fair.
Nathaniel?
I think I actually have this after Insidious. I really like this movie a lot, and they're very close to one another. But I think I have this one at 11.
Okay.
Okay.
So
Blake.
before Tenet. I think I'm gonna go with Adam, or I'll pop it probably right after The Strangers. Which is I mean, I think for a remake, right, and a reimagination, I think it's really good, right? But if I'm just looking at this list for horror movies, I would certainly rather watch The Strangers than that, right? If that kind of makes sense, if you guys are following me. So yeah, that's fine. I would go right after The Strangers. So I would put it before Insidious, so that would put it at 10.
Yeah. Yeah.
Does that even out?
I
Where are we
think
at?
I
Yeah,
mean,
so that means me and Adam are at 10. I think.
well, because Tyler had it high, and then then Nathaniel had it lower. I think the middle and then me and Blake said 10. I think the middle ground here is 10. If you guys
I'm
want to
fine
agree on that, I would say it's either 9 or 10, above or below Strangers.
Okay, then Tyler, talk to me then. And why do you want this above The Strangers? If you can convince me on it, I can probably fold. But what are you thinking?
I feel like this instantly one has more of like a classic tie to horror.
Yeah.
And Strangers is like a really, really good movie. I don't know if there's another home invasion that really comes to mind that like takes that out,
Mm-hmm.
but I just feel that with I guess if I'm really kind of basing this off of like when horror is around and when I prefer to watch it, it's more of an instant classic for me. Halloween comes to mind more as like a horror than like The Strangers does. And I feel like it's just a little bit tighter overall. Because it's a sequel. It has more background to it, and it's got a little bit more substance, and I think that's what makes it bite a little bit harder for me.
Yeah. Yeah, I
Oh,
can see
man.
that. They bring Jamie Lee Curtis back.
I feel like The Strangers is scarier.
Yeah.
I think it is. I
I
don't
get what you're
necessarily
saying,
know if it's
Ty. I
better
just-
though.
Because like now for me, I'm looking at it like Lord of the Rings, right? Like if somebody's like, "Oh my god, like what's your favorite Lord of the Rings?" Like it's typically The Fellowship, but I can't look at those as a separate film. They're all one big film for me.
Mhm.
And now that's kind of like where this is getting to. Like, this wouldn't be as good without the first one, and I think with the first one having so much to it, that this really builds on that, and it's. I feel like it's better than The Strangers. That's all.
Okay. I think you're getting me there. Like I said, I would say with them bringing Jamie Lee Curtis back, with the basically the flip flop of the cat and mouse and her being the predator and the granddaughter looking out the window and seeing Lori and everything. I think I'm gonna roll with you, bro. I'll
Lit.
roll with you. Yeah,
Nice.
I'll put it above The Strangers.
I could tell you
So then we're
Green Room smokes it though.
No, yeah, I can't. I
Yeah.
can't reach that
Yeah.
far, right? I can't reach that far.
well. Then I
can
think we're
put it over-
split here, 2 and 2, 9 and 10. So I guess it goes down to an IMDb tie break.
Oh,
So
this
this
thing
would be
probably smokes
between-
The Strangers.
This
on
would be
IMDb.
between Halloween 18 and Strangers.
This thing probably smokes The
The
Strangers.
Strangers
I'd bet on
has
that.
6.2.
6.something.
Halloween has
It's probably
6.5.
Ooh, didn't smoke.
That was a close one.
closer
That
than
was
We're
a
a little
close
bit.
one.
I think we're a little bit above board here, above average in our slotting here. But hey, I'm cool.
Yeah, I thought 18 would probably fall like a 6.9 or 7. I knew The Strangers was going to be a low 6,
Yeah.
just off it being a horror movie. I
Man, I
knew.
love The Strangers though.
So do I, man.
All right,
Favorite
so-
home invasion movie.
Yeah, Strangers was great, but
Without a doubt.
Halloween beats it here, I guess, at number 9. It's on in there, number 9.
Tell you what though, that's a murderer's row of good movies right there.
Really
Yes, it
is.
is. We're at that was the 20th movie we put on the Entropy list.
Hey,
Hey yo, it's
that's
great.
pretty
Cool.
lit.
Yeah, I mean, so
Yeah,
so
man,
then
it's
looking
getting
at
there.
this
It's
entry
getting
list,
there.
man. I mean, the top 5 is really good.
Yeah,
I
I was
think-
looking at it.
I
Yeah,
think
I was
most
looking
people
at
would
it.
even agree with that.
The top
be
10
honest.
is really good.
Gives you like a pretty wide variety too.
It
Yeah.
really, yeah, it really does.
Yeah, and then it kind of falls off a little bit. But yeah, I think our top 5 are by far and away the best 5 movies on this list, for sure.
I would agree.
So
yeah.
I think
Yep.
we knocked that out the
100%.
park. And I think the top 5 are probably most people
I
that would
think-
come across and like, yeah, these are all really good movies. And
Looking at
anybody
this
who
list-
says
oh,
those
I'm
aren't
sorry.
good movies,
Keep going.
everyone's titled to their opinions. We understand that, but you have a very shitty opinion if you think the top 5 movies out here aren't good movies.
You're fucking wrong.
That's all I'd have to say.
I think as I'm looking at this list as a whole, it's shaping up to be cut in different segments here. You got probably our top 6. I would include Prisoners and maybe even. All right,
You could
I would go
maybe even
say
stretch it to
I would say top
Inception.
8. I would say top 8. Honestly, Green Room was fantastic. I really like Green Room. I would say
Yeah.
top 8. Those are all. I mean, maybe 8 is a stretch, but top 7
Yeah.
list.
The Green Room's
is-
a sleeper.
Yeah, it is. It really is.
Mhm.
Are fantastic. Then you
Mhm.
have our middle, I would say 9 through 14. No, 9 through 15 are like really solid. And then 16 to 20 are like your below average okay movies.
Yeah. There's still some gap though, like we said, between
There's a bit of a gap.
Blind Spotting and then Trick or Treat and then The King of Staten Island. I think there's certainly a
yeah.
gap. We're gonna have to start filling that out eventually.
Oh, yeah, these gaps will be filled for sure.
because
Yeah, 'cause,
everything.
I mean, there's a
after The
there's a
King of
pretty
Staten
big
Island
gap
is
between
terrible.
Blind Spotting and Trick or Treat, but I
To
think
be
there's
honest,
an even.
I was shocked how high you guys had Halloween's on here. Like I knew we liked them, but I didn't expect you guys to have them up that high.
Which one? The
both,
the original
for
one?
both.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. It's just when I look at these lists and I compare them, I'm like,
They
I
just
really enjoy
deserve
these
it.
movies.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you're
I really enjoy
totally
these
right.
movies.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, I mean, I just remember being so pleasantly surprised by the second one. Are we still in the episode? I completely forgot. I just
We
totally
are.
went-
Yeah.
I know. I kind of
yeah,
zoned
we
out
are.
too.
We are.
I kind of zoned out too.
Yeah, man.
I was just doing to the entry list.
I like 2018 and rewatching it. I don't know if I can go back on my statement where I think it's better than Evil Dead for a remake, but it's definitely up there.
Mm.
I like
Evil
Yeah.
2018 a
Evil
lot.
Dead's gonna be one we gotta do too. But yeah, let's get on out of here, guys. Let's it's late. Let's
Yeah. So thank you for joining us for our little Halloween special. Join us
Halloween.
for Happy Halloween. Join us for our next episode, which will be released shortly after this one, I guess, only a few more days. It's gonna be the Bo Rat subsequent movie film. Bo Rat subsequent movie film. This sequel Bo Rat film that just came out. It's available exclusively on Amazon Prime. video.
You
So
say
check them out.
Borat really weird.
Borat?
Do we have to rent that, or
He's
is that
saying like
something I can just watch?
Bo Rat.
Yeah, it is
Borat?
Borat.
Borat. How am I supposed to say it?
Borat?
Borat.
Borat?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I feel like you're saying Bo Rat.
Maybe I am. I probably am.
Yeah, I think he is pronouncing it that way.
Okay.
But
Sorry.
is that something you have to rent on
Borat?
Prime, or
No, it's if you have Prime Video, it's free.
great?
Oh,
even
that's
better.
good to hear.
Nope, no renting.
Didn't
They
really
also
care
have-
to pay $5.
They also
for
have,
this
and
one.
I will probably be revisiting the original Borat on there as well.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it probably wouldn't hurt to at least burn through both of those. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Is it gonna be? I don't know what. I don't even know what to think.
Reviews are pretty positive so far from what I've heard from friends and
Yeah.
from what I've seen. I've seen a little bit of it and I was enjoying it. Just because it was on.
I'm not
and then,
surprised, but I'm a little mad.
Okay. I don't know what you want from me, man.
Nothing.
All right.
20
Well, yeah.
films.
So check it out, and then we'll see you next week. And then please share the podcast. I would really appreciate it. Share with a friend, a family
Share it
member,
on Halloween.
a stalker,
Trick or treating.
a trick or treater.
Throw it on in the background in your party.
Ooh.
Hey, here's some spooky sounds for you.
Ooh. Ooh. Or you could just play the complete Halloween theme song.
Or
Probably play
That's
that
what I
as
wake
well.
up to.
Or
every day.
if you
Or
want to
The
make it a
Shining
real
theme
party,
song.
you play WAP.
All right, let's
Mm.
wrap.
All right, and you can find us at.
All right. You can find us on Twitter at Banter Row. Our YouTube is going to be Back Row Banter. Our email is backrowbanterpod@gmail.com. And our Instagram is backrowbanterpod. BlakeHolder,
What's up?
where can the people find you?
Letterboxd. I'll be on there, kind of updating some stuff. I'm not the greatest at updating that, to be honest with you guys. I am working on that, but I'm also working on a few things in general. I'm not perfect, so that's kind of my takeaway on that.
Self-improvement.
Yeah, of course. Every day
Yes,
you got to
sir.
get better.
Of
But yeah,
course.
Letterboxd BlakeHolder. That'll be me. Like I said, I might try to do something on the original Halloween because I kind of advocated to get that in the top 5. So I'll see if I can put together some thoughts on that.
Sure.
I'll go ahead and pass it on to Nathaniel. What about? Well, I guess he's mid yawning. We'll go back to Tyler really quick.
I do Twitch sometimes. I've been better about it lately, and once we get the new Xboxes, I will be way better about it. So you can find me there at twitch.tv/eltrabajo, ELTRABAJO87. And then Letterboxd, Twitter, and Instagram are all the same. It's Tyler Vidalis, VIDALES. Popcorn Adam.
You can find me on Twitter. I am at amschwartzy, and you can find my Letterboxd at the same thing. I guess, I don't know, they're linked somehow. I need to change them. And then you can find me on Twitch. I'm at twitch.tv/Aish. That's AYYSH. I will be streaming as soon as COD comes out. Stay tuned. And last but not least, Nathaniel Gingrich.
Yep, you can find me on Letterboxd and Twitter at NSGingrich or on Instagram at NathanielG92. Last episode of Sandpiper Tapes is out now. You can find those guys on Instagram at the Sandpiper Tapes and on Twitter at Sandpiper Tapes. That's it from me. Aish, take us on home. Get us out of here.
Alrighty. Well, thank you for joining us for our Halloween special. We'll see you guys next week for the Borat subsequent movie film. But we'll BRB.
Be excellent to each other and we'll BRB.
Have a safe Halloween. Trick or treat, have a party, do whatever you gotta do, but be safe. And tell somebody you love them. Happy Halloween. BRB.
Yeah, happy Halloween, everybody. Make sure you check your candy. Don't crush any jack-o'-lanterns. Don't take any of the Halloween decorations down on Halloween day. And you should be able to live to see another day. That's about a get from me. BRB.
America. Ready for another lesson.
All right, fellas, let's start this Halloween up because I really kind of want to talk about these two. So,
All right, let's get a clap going.
uno,
Oh, you
dos,
know, actually,
tres, cuatro.
I didn't go to the bathroom. I will be right back. 1 second.
Oh my god, you're the
What's
worst.
the highest you guys can count to in Spanish? It's really random, but this is a good filler.
What?
What's the highest you can count to in Spanish?
10.
I'm fairly confident I could get to 100.
Really? Holy shit,
Yeah.
dude. Yeah,
I
there's
legitimately
no way I
don't
can.
know. I don't know the word for 11.
Once.
12 is it dose? That sounds so
Dose,
stupid.
yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Well, it makes legitimately so much more sense than 11 and 12.
And then, yeah, I think it gets really rocky after that. There's like a
Like, that has to be-
catorce or something, right?
That has to be
What
left
is
over
that?
for
Like
some
14,
other-
15?
Yeah, so the teens are actually the hardest.
That would make sense too, yeah.
Because then once you get up to like 20, it's just you have to remember
It's
by
20
every
and
10.
1,
So it's
right?
so it's 21, 22, 23.
Yeah.
So it's just
Ah.
1, 2, 3. And then you just say the bigger number first. And then like 30 is like 30, and then 40, and then there's like 60. So as 80. Yeah. So like as long as you just
Right.
follow those, you can
Right.
count to 100.
German,
Yeah.
it's like, if it's like 35, it's 45. So it's the number and it's the single digit and the two digits. So it'd be like 4 and 20.
Oh, okay.
Oh, instead of 24.
Yeah.
Okay, I got you. So it's like 5 and 30, 6 and
Yeah.
30, 7 and
Yeah.
30. Okay. Man, that's a mouthful to count that way.
Well, and that's also why they think, or one of the reasons that the children from Asian speaking families can remember higher digits. It's a test that they've done where they can remember more digits, is because the sound for the letter is shorter than ours.
Hmm.
So like we say 1, 2, 3, theirs is just like each, and then like they're shorter syllable sounds, so they can remember more of those, and they're just in essence more effective.
Okay.
You and Tyler got the same look right now.
Huh.
You and Blake.
Uh,
You can't do it because if you both look up, you'll look at each other, but you had the exact same look on your face and same
Yeah.
mannerisms.
that's
I could
because
tell.
we're like blood.
Nothing I had said in the last 3 minutes had made any sort of impact on your memory.
All right, you guys ready?
Yeah, let's do it.
I honestly don't know what you said.
The crazy thing is, like, I kind of know what he said. That's why I was kind of like, okay. But, like, I didn't really, you know what I mean? It didn't really, it's like one of those things that just go in your ear. And it's like, yeah, I completely understand what you're saying, but I can't
But
articulate
I'm
the thought back.
retaining none of it.
All right. Clap.
Wait,
No, I just need to know where we started. I just need to know where we started. I
it's
actually-
just like I'm just supposed to know when you're gonna queue up. Clap.
Hey, Adam. Serious
Yep.
question, bro. What's the highest number you can count to in Spanish?